If you're thinking about moving to Dallas, this video is for you. Dallas is one of the fastest growing cities in the country, but if you're not careful, you could make some big mistakes that will cost you time, money, and frustration. We've helped tons of people relocate here, and we're going to share the most common mistakes we see so that you can avoid them. Mistake number one, thinking Dallas is just one big city. It is not. People hear Dallas and they think downtown, but really, the DFW metroplex is made up of dozens of cities and suburbs, each with its own vibe, housing market, and cost of living. You've got places like Plano and Frisco, which are great for families, Fort Worth for a little more of that Texas feel, and uptown Dallas if you want that city lifestyle. Before you move, take the time to research where in DFW is right for you, because trust us, it makes a huge difference in your day-to-day life. Mistake number two is underestimating the cost of living. A lot of people move here thinking, oh, Texas is so affordable compared to California or New York, which is partially true, but Dallas isn't as cheap as people think. Housing prices have skyrocketed in the last few years, and while we don't have state income tax, we do have higher property taxes. Things like groceries, gas, and dining out are fairly standard and often cheaper than other major cities, but it can be an adjustment to wrap your brain around budgeting for property tax. And this is especially true if you live in the top-rated school districts. Those property taxes might shock you. So make sure to get a homestead exemption on your primary residence, something not every state has. Registering a homestead is free and extremely easy, and it can save you thousands of dollars on property taxes every year. The third mistake is not planning for traffic and commuting. Dallas is huge, and if you don't plan for traffic, you're in for a pretty rude awakening. If you're moving from a smaller city, be prepared. Rush hour here can easily go from a 20-minute drive into an hour-long commute. That's why choosing the right location is so important. If you're working in downtown Dallas, but you buy a house in McKinney, get ready to spend a lot of time in your car, and always test your commute during rush hour before deciding where to live. And then keep an eye out for current and future construction. Be aware of what's about to happen. Many people are going to tell you to stay away from the highways such as 75, I-35E, 635, and I-20 if possible. But if you have to take some of these roads to work, just know that continuous construction is being done to make many of these roads wider and safer. I-35, for example, is going through major widening that will help the traffic from North Dallas into downtown. It's scheduled to be completed by December 2026. Okay, mistake number four is not preparing for Texas weather. You may think you understand how strange Texas weather will be, but if you've never lived here, you really don't. The most obvious is the summers. They can be brutal. Personally, I like them, but a lot of people don't. We're talking triple digits for weeks at a time. And then out of nowhere, we're gonna get a hailstorm the size of golf balls in the summer. And then in the winter months, we do get occasional cold storms that shut down the whole city. If you're moving from up north, don't laugh at us. We just don't have the infrastructure to deal with ice and snow. During those freezing times, you'll want to drip your faucets. Homes in Texas are not built for cold weather, not like that. And it's not worth having a pipe freeze and burst for 1 week out of the year that it drops well below freezing. So just drip your faucets. The extreme heat and cold combined with the clay soil found in Texas has one other strange effect that you'll need to be ready for: home foundation issues. The clay will shrink in the summer and it's going to expand in the winter, leading to the eventual issue of foundation repairs. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. So if you're buying a home in the Dallas metroplex, make sure you have a good realtor who can help you spot foundation issues in homes. Recent repairs to foundations are typically fine, as long as they were done by a reputable insured contractor. But we do not recommend buying a home that currently has foundation issues. The fifth mistake, assuming public transportation is an option. If you're used to living in a city with great public transportation, we've got kind of bad news for you. Dallas is not a public transit friendly city. We have the DART system, but it's not nearly as extensive as something like New York subway or Chicago's L train. Most people in Dallas drive everywhere, so if you're moving here, make sure you have a very reliable car. And families, it's hard to get away with not having at least 2 cars. Some families might be able to make 1 car work, but they are the exception to the rule. The sixth mistake we're going to talk about is not researching the schools. If you have kids, obviously researching schools is a priority. But even if you don't, this still matters. Yep. Homes in the top-rated school districts tend to hold their value way better. So if you ever plan to sell, buying in a good district can be a very smart investment. So even if you're single or married with no kids, look for areas with the best schools. Those are going to be the places that you want to buy a home in. Some of the top school districts in the area include South Lake Carroll, Flower Mound, Coppell, Plano, and Frisco. So even if schools aren't a factor for you right now, they could be in the future, or at least for resale value. The seventh mistake is not finding a community ASAP. This is one people don't always think about, but moving to a big city like Dallas can feel overwhelming if you don't find your people. Dallas is growing so fast, and a lot of transplants move here without knowing anyone. If you don't make an effort to build a community, it can feel a little isolating. Whether it's through your kids' school, a local gym, a church, or even a sports league, get involved early. It'll make all the difference in feeling at home. Okay, those are some of the biggest mistakes to avoid when moving to Dallas. If you found this helpful, please subscribe for more Dallas real estate content from relocating to homeowning, and even some investing tips. And let us know in the comments, what is something you would like to know more about before you move to Dallas? We'd be more than happy to talk about it. And if you need help finding the perfect home in the Dallas area, reach out to us. We'd love to help make your move as smooth as possible. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in that next video.